have a topic that I really want to talk about. This is something that caught my eye. Um, it's been going around now. I know other shows have talked about it, but I have to talk about it as well. We have to talk about it here. So Jeff Teague on his podcast. Shout out to Jeff Teague, by the way. One of to me one of the nicest players to have play in the game, and I think he has one of the most entertaining podcasts that's out there right now, as far as player podcasts. He has some of the most hilarious stories. He talked about the Jimmy Butler practice incident, and he talked about a game he had played against Steph Curry in China where he cooked him. He said he played his best, and it didn't go too well for him. So, shout out to Jeff Teague, but I feel like these comments were a little off the wall. He admitted himself, but this kind of caught my eye. So, Carl, I'm gonna start with you first. He pretty much has said that James Harden, um, if he had to choose, he would take James Harden over Dwayne Wade.
No, so I actually watched this episode because, like you said, I'm gonna just pick it back off you for a second. Jeff T was like one of my guys, like not one of my favorite players, but I mess with Jeff T a lot. His podcast is hilarious. Like I've been binge watching it lately. I won't lie, but he said that the James Harden is a top 5 shooting guard all time, and he's over D Wade. But he also then said he's out of pocket for saying that, which his co-host immediately said that he was out of pocket. Which I'm gonna say you out of pocket, and here's why. A lot of he then says, well, D Wade had Shaq, right? Cool. D Wade had Shaq, and they were down 0-2 in the 06 finals. D Wade then continues to score 42 points game 3, 36 points game 4, 43 points game 5, and 36 points game 6 to win 4 straight to beat the Mavericks. So, okay, the D Wade just took over the series. James Harden, however, 2018. Carl, 2018, game 6 against the Warriors, he had 32. They got blown out. Okay. Game 7, Carl had 32 again against the Warriors. They were in a dogfight game 7 till halftime when the Rockets proceeded to make history and missed 27 straight three-pointers. And guess who led the charge by missing 27 straight three-pointers? James Harden. James Harden proceeded to miss 10 of the 27 threes. So James Harden, again, he just disappears. Well, Carl had 32. He missed 10 straight and proceeded to help his team lose the game. Carl, they missed CP3. James Harden is good enough to give me one game up 3-2, right? Guess not. Then we can go to this past playoff. Game 6. Carl, James Harden had 40-point games in the series. Game 6, he had 13, and he looked absolutely horrendous in that 13 points. Having open shots and passing them, throwing the ball out of bounds, turnovers. It looked like he forgot how to play ball. Then let's not forget about game 7, all the chips on the line. He has 9 points and looks even worse than game 6. So, I mean, you can talk about the MVPs, the historic regular season performances, but when it comes to the playoffs, he's nowhere to be found. He always goes. I call him James Houdini. The deeper he goes in the playoffs, the more he disappears. So D Wade wasn't like that. D Wade's issues was more so injuries. Injuries hindered D Wade. James Harden, I want to say he's perfectly healthy. Some people say weight issues. I don't like when people say these athletes have weight issues. Sure, they might look a little stocky or whatever, but they're probably 3% body fat, 4% body fat. It's just some people's builds are just different. Like you can be in the best shape of your life. It's just your build. So it is what it is there. But yeah, James Harden, man, he's a great player. Don't get me wrong. I think regular season matters, and the regular seasons have been phenomenal. But his postseason success is nowhere near there to put him above D Wade. I'm sorry.
Yep, I agree 100%. If for everyone tuning in, if you don't know already, I am a huge Miami Heat fan, and Dwayne Wade is my favorite player of all time. So this was something that really stuck out to me, and it's something that I had to really talk about. So there was a stat that I paid attention to when it comes to D Wade and James Harden, and it was games shot under 25% or worse in the playoffs. Now, Wade has done this 5 times out of 177 games. That's about 3%. James Harden in less games has shot under 25% or worse 21 out of 156 games. Now, let's talk about Dwayne Wade's rookie season all the way to his third season. So, Dwayne Wade rookie season, this is when he switched from being from point guard because he was drafted as out of the point guard out of Marquette. And then he switched to he switched to shooting guard and also became the number one option in his rookie season. He averaged 18 points per game in the playoffs on 45% shooting. The very next season, he averaged 27 points per game on 48% shooting. Then the season right after that, when he won his very first title, yes, he had Shaq on his team, but Shaq was not the Shaq he was when he was with Kobe Bryant. Like Carl said, we were down 0-2 in the finals against the Dallas Mavericks with Shaq on the team, and Dwayne Wade proceeded to, after being down 0-2, he averaged 37 points per game in that finals. That season, he averaged 28 points per game. Well, in the playoffs, he averaged 28 points per game in that playoffs. In the 2011 finals, I know we lost this, and I know we had LeBron James. But with LeBron James on that team, who only averaged about 17 points per game in the 2011 finals, Dwayne Wade led the team and was averaging 26.5 points, 7 rebounds, and 5.2 assists in the 2011 finals. I would say he's not the reason we lost the finals. In 2009, where I arguably believe that he could have won the MVP that season, he averaged 30.2 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 7.5 assists. Now, that's probably the one thing that people will put Harden over because he has an MVP in the regular season. But other than that, we know he ain't the same player that Dwayne Wade is when it comes to playoffs. James Harden has played with stars as well. Now, he has Shaq. Yes, I get that. And he also played with LeBron James, second greatest player of all time. You got me there. But James Harden also played with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook on this very same team. He also played with Kevin Durant again and Kyrie Irving. He played with Dwight Howard, CP3, different occasions, but he did play with both of them. Still couldn't get over the hump. There was a game he played with when he had Dwight Howard against Portland in the playoffs. Carl, you know this very well with your guy Dame Lillard.
Yes, sir.
Hit a 3 to put them out in the playoffs.
Crazy. Off a screen, left elbow, fading sideways for the game. I was a fan before, and that just made him my favorite player after.
And then he proceeded to do an even worse job against the Spurs in the playoffs, where Manu Ginobili blocked his shot in the game that mattered the most in order for them to lose that series. He also has games where he has the most turnovers in a playoff game. To me, James Harden is not even close to what Dwayne Wade was in the playoffs. And also, Harden he just played with the MVP this year. Joel Embiid just won MVP this season, and they couldn't get out of the second round because he didn't play his part. He did have 2 40-point games, which was good, but it's not enough. When the last 2 games of the series, you didn't even average 20 points.
He combined for 22, game 6 and game 7.
So get Harden out of here. No, I don't want to hear nothing else. I don't want to hear nobody say that James Harden is better than Dwayne Wade because that is not the case at all. No way, no how. Don't even bring it up. Regular season, you have something there. You can have something there because you can say that he's more offensively skilled. He has better handles. You know, he's a better passer. You can say that, but don't make it seem like the way Wade won the passer. I just gave you his stat in 2009. He averaged 7.5 assists as a shooting guard. We all know that James Harden has had the rock in his hands a lot more than what Dwayne Wade did. So that's that. The other thing is,
go ahead.
My bad.
I was just gonna say, some people can say, was it really James Harden or was it Mike D'Antoni? 'Cause Mike D'Antoni's known for point guards having a real big bump in stats. So, I mean, I think it's James Harden for sure. I'm just saying you can create an argument there. And then, like you said, the Philly year, you can bring up, the D Wade had Shaq. Shaq was an MVP. Shaq. James Harden had MVP and B. Now, some people argue that Embiid shouldn't have won the MVP, but he won MVP nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't go past the second round. D Wade won the finals. It's so bad that Philly fans don't really want Harden there, especially for the ticket for the contract that he opted into. They don't want him
Exactly.
there.
Exactly.
So yeah. And then like you said, he played with Dwight Howard. Him and Dwight Howard met up against Damian Lillard and LaMarcus Aldridge. Y'all
Yep.
wouldn't put Damian Lillard top 5 point guard ever, would you? I
Nope.
wouldn't put Damian Lillard top 5 point guard ever.
I wouldn't.
But yet,
And,
Damian Lillard and LaMarcus Aldridge, both players that you would say are below James Harden and Dwight Howard, won that series 4-2.
mm-hmm.
So, I mean, respect to James Harden. Respect to James Harden for sure. But I just don't have him over D Wade. If you want to put him fourth behind D Wade, I'm fine with that. But I can't put him in front of D Wade.
Yep. I can't do it either. Then, I mean, Harden has had just about everything go the way he wanted to. If he wanted to go somewhere, he went there. If he wanted a player on his team, he got that. And he had. There's other players he had on his team. He had. If you look at the Philly team now, some of the players that he had on the team came from Houston when he played with Houston. PJ Tucker was the other guy. I can't believe Daniel House was on the team as well. And then, I mean, come on now. I mean, to me, it's easy. It's easy to me to put D Wade over James Harden. I don't see how anyone puts James Harden over him. If you're talking about skillfully and regular season, all right. But you talking about overall career, nah. Dwayne Wade's, to me, clearly above him. Clearly he's above him because Dwayne Wade ain't gonna go missing when it counts. Harden has done that multiple times. So
Yeah,
that
and I just don't think it's fair. I know you brought up the Brooklyn situation. I don't really use that against Harden because he did try to gut it out with the hamstring. So I don't want to use that against him, even though he did disappear. But I give him credit for trying to fight through. Even though I'm not even this type of guy, but I don't want to not do this because it seems like I'm being impartial to Harden instead of being fair. He did try to gut through the hamstring, so I give him credit for that.
yeah, you're right. You're right. I do give him credit for that, but like I said, we can just go through other series, especially with Houston. When he finally got his own team. I mean, you can't really. You could bring up the finals where he was in 2012, where he, as a six man, he was missing key free throws. People forget about that too. He missed key free throws in the 2012 finals, and was one of the reasons why they lost. So, to me, it's D Wade easily.
Yeah,
And
that's a fact,
yeah,
man.
and that's another thing. Thank you, James. That's another thing I forgot to bring up. Dwayne Wade is one of the premier two way guards in history. You can't you can't name me a season where James Harden was considered one of the best defenders in the league. You can't. You can't.
No,
Not at all.
I don't
He
know.
played. He played. Now I'll give him this. When he first started in OKC, he did play some defense. But once he went to Houston, that went out the window. That went
Yeah.
out. He was clearly just an offensive player. There are highlight videos of him not playing defense.
Oh yeah, those are crazy. Those are hilarious. But I don't know. I would form it with. I don't think it's a season where he's ever been considered the best guard defender. Because I love D Wade defensively. I don't know if it's ever been a season though where I thought D Wade was the best defender in the league.
No, I'm not saying best defender in the league. I'm talking about one of the best defenders in the league.
Okay.
Not like top. Now I would never consider. I never consider Dwayne Wade the best defender playing in the league. Nah, I never said that. But Dwayne Wade is for Dwayne Wade to only be 6'4", he has the most blocked shots from any shooting guard in NBA history. And he's only 6'4". So yeah, Jeff T, get that out of here. Don't
He
even
said he
mention
was out of
that.
pocket. He knew he was out of pocket, man.
Yeah, he probably just favors James Harden, but no way, no how.
T, you still my guy, my boy. Hey, look, an open invitation. I'm pretty sure Joe is an open invitation for you to get on the show. Wake Forest, Wake
Hey,
Forest. Hey, look.
I'm here for it too. Like, hey, I enjoy your show. I enjoy your podcast. Yours was it Paul George podcast P? I think that's a good one as well. So I wouldn't mind the invitation, but just yeah, you said it yourself, but I'm gonna say it again. You were definitely out of pocket for that. That's our show for today. Appreciate everyone that.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.